Hi, I'm Dr. Megan Rounds, and today I'm talking about shoulds. The shoulds. I usually put one quotation around both of those words. The shoulds represent, well, things that we believe we should be doing, or that we should want, or that we should, well, how we should be. And the reason I have an issue with this word is because, to me, should represents obligation. And obligation represents something that we believe is necessary to do, but we don't really want to do. Now, the reasons we believe those things are necessary to do are questionable. It may be a sense of obligation that we are imposing on ourselves because we believe other people expect certain things from us that don't actually exist. Or it could be that there are other people who have set expectations for us that we do not want to fulfill, and we believe that if we don't honor them, then that is going to have a negative response or a negative consequence for us. And so, in some ways, yes, maybe that's true. Maybe there will be a negative consequence. But at the same point, it represents a potential for boundary issues. Now, I'll do another video around boundaries, but if we keep saying yes out of obligation, what are we saying to ourselves about our own choices, about our own self-worth? And that's at the heart of a should. I should do this thing even though I don't really want to because other people expect it of me. But what about what you expect for yourself? What about what is really important to you at your core? When I have done, and now a lot of this comes from my own experience, okay? I've lived not a huge life, but a life filled with shoulds in many respects, where I was joining groups, I was pursuing things in my life that I felt I should do. I was following what I thought was the American dream, and many of those things included even just pursuing a career that I felt I had to have some sort of professional career in order to be considered valuable. Now, there's probably another video in that as well, but it was my own lack of self-worth that drove me to those pursuits. Now, I valued myself in one way, but I didn't always think I was good enough. And so I was pursuing education, I was pursuing professional titles and all of those things to try to prove to someone other than me that I was worthy. And what's really funny about it is that, so I achieved a doctorate in part because I was motivated because I wanted somebody else's approval. Now, I never really got it. Yeah, sure, they were proud of me, and that was great. But when I heard it, it fell really flat. Why? Because I didn't really feel it about myself. And so that was a big picture view of me following a bunch of little nuggets of shoulds. I should get a degree in this. I should be get a professional level position in this. Then they'll be proud of me. Then I'll be worthy. All of those things, it may not seem like they matter that much. It's like, well, this is just what we do without questioning it a whole lot. But ultimately, it was following a trajectory that I felt was necessary in order to receive approval from someone else. I wasn't thinking as much about my own self-approval. And I wasn't really thinking that much about whether that was something those pursuits were something that were right for me. So the shoulds, anytime you hear yourself say, I should do this, I want you to take a moment and think about the should. What is it that you're saying? What is it that do you really want to do this thing, or are you just doing it because you feel a sense of obligation about it? Maybe there's an area of resistance there. I really don't want to do it. Maybe you've already committed to something and I really just don't want to go. Well, think about it, and even more importantly, honor it if it makes sense to you to do so. And and the most important thing there is to make a choice. Be conscious of the choice you're making. Instead of going through the motions, doing something you really don't feel like doing, and doing kind of a half-hearted effort as a result because your heart's not in it. Every time you go against what your heart is telling you, you're chipping away a little bit at that heart. The heart's like mourning because you're not listening to it because you don't value what it has to contribute. And I'll go into another video later about the role the heart and the body has to play in our feeling alignment and authentic living. So for now, pay attention to the shoulds. What do they mean for you? Do you really want to do them? And if you don't, acknowledge it and make a choice. If you don't want to do it, what are the consequences? If you're okay with the consequences, and it may take some time to be comfortable with some of those consequences, but once you're okay with those consequences, take a stand. And I'll tell you that 9 times out of 10, people understand when you say, I'm just not able to do this right now. I thought that this was something that would be beneficial for everybody, or I thought it would be something that would be good for me to be involved in, and I no longer feel that way, and so I'm going to have to opt out. You know, it sounds challenging sometimes, but having the courage to actually stand your ground and align with what you truly desire is one huge step closer to living your truth and igniting that inner spark. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.